broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
That's right. Welcome, Spotlight On, here at AFTERBUZZ TV. I'm James Lott Jr., and I am here today to spotlight an actress who's actually more than an actress. She's actually a writer, producer. I mean, it's going to be great. It's a great web series. I'm going to talk to her about that. Meanwhile, follow us on YouTube and iTunes at AFTERBUZZ TV. Subscribe and find our shows. We have a bunch of shows and a bunch of other Spotlight Ons. I do a bunch of them too, so you can find them. And you can follow me, of course, on Twitter at BlackHopeLA. That's BLAKHOPELA. And James Lott Jr. everywhere else. So my guest today is a USC School of Dramatic graduate. It's a local girl. Love it. Also, she's the actress, writer, creator of the award-winning series Broken at Love. And the show is going into its 3rd season. I mean, this is great. She also won for Best Writing and Best Lead Actress at the LA Web Fest. You go, girl. Karolina Sivas.
Hi.
Hi, welcome.
Thank you.
Yay. Well, welcome.
Thank you.
Glad to see you here. Now, you know what's funny? So I have actually interviewed Brian James of Youthful Days, and I've also talked to Brent Bailey, who was part of Emma Approved.
Yes.
So web is the place, isn't it?
It is.
That's amazing. I mean, because you found the web, you got on there, created the series, but like this is the place where good stuff is happening, isn't it?
Well, when I got involved in the web world, it was back in 2011, which was
wow.
it was still kind of new to do it. And we premiered our first season in 2012.
Yes.
And since then, I've noticed just like a huge boom in just people creating content, opportunities to meet other web creators, which is really fun. And it's really taken off since 2011, which I think is kind of why I'm still doing it, because the community is really gone a lot of places. Yeah,
it's gone beyond the, still people still do this, of course, but it's gone beyond the iPhone or this kind of phone and somebody's basement, and they're doing it. Now you guys are putting on productions on the web.
Like it has to be perfect quality to be taken seriously for sure. Yeah,
I'm sure. So Broken at Love, explain to people, it's part of Brown Eye Girl Productions. That's a great name, Brown Eyes. Great name.
My mom came up with that.
Go mom. Like that. Miss Ida, we'll say her name, of course, we love her. So how did this idea kind of come to you in the beginning?
For Broken at Love?
Yes, Broken at Love.
Okay, so I say this story a lot now. When we first started, I never knew if I should be honest about it, but I got my heart badly destroyed
stomped.
Back in 2011, so a while ago.
Yes.
And I did not know what to do. And I don't sing, so I always say I can't like pour my feelings into things, but I do write.
Yeah.
And so again, with the encouragement of my mom, she was like, you want to be miserable, or do you want to do something that's going to help your acting along too? And so then I created the show. Very minor. 5 episodes.
Okay.
Just do it, and that's, just get it out. It went from like 5 episodes to the first season being 8 episodes with I think it was an hour and 40 minutes worth of content.
Wow.
And the cast just kept getting better than what my initial plans were. And everything just kind of, so instead of it being about the heartbreak, which was really a great distraction, I think the first 6 months was a really tough attempt to take on such a big project.
Sure.
And then after the first 6 months, when I really just started going hard about the show and not about the personal stuff, I noticed like it just kept growing and getting bigger and better. And
what a great therapy session.
Yeah, I mean, the show is, I always say this now, it's like 99% real life. And season 3 is no less. So, I mean, you can start pinpointing people at this point. Yeah.
That's funny. I think that's so great that you took your pain. I mean, it's a good lesson to anybody.
Yeah.
Something creative, whether it's painting, writing a song, anything, drawing, whatever it is, you turned it into something actually really good.
Yeah, thank you.
For yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a great thing. So now how, let's just start from the beginning. So you thought of the idea, you're like, I'm going to write about my pain, and you started writing the stories.
Yeah.
How did you translate that to going to the web? I mean, how did that kind of...
Well, I wanted to make a short film first. And then I thought, no one is going to... I wanted to make a short film of like one of the most... It's actually the short film turned into be episode 9 in the show.
Okay.
And it was like one of the most dramatic moments early on in the relationship. And I wanted that to be the short film. And I thought nobody's going to care about this moment if they don't know everything that came before it.
Okay.
So then that became, maybe we should make it a serialized subject, and so then it became one episode after that, and suddenly it took 8 episodes to get to that 9th episode, and then it became, so the 9th episode was supposed to be the series finale. It was going to be like the end, and then somehow my wonderful cast suckered me into making more, and so we just kept going after that 9th episode, and then I felt like, and then I thought I was going to be done after season 2 for the same, I thought I got everything, and now it's so funny because like we've had like experiences in the last several months that I found to be worth writing about, and so suddenly it's just, now this is an ongoing therapy for me. So if I write about guys so much now, it's very Taylor Swift like, as my friends like to tell me.
Yes. Well, I watched a few of the episodes and they were fun, and it's funny because I think it is a subject that you could go on for seasons. I mean, you really could.
As long as I'm still experiencing things in real life, Yeah,
because your happy ending could be your series finale. Like you finally, that could be the series finale.
I always make her unhappy. I don't know why, but it's more fun to play when she's a mess.
It is.
So people always think like they're surprised when I have it more together than she does. But
well, the thing is, it makes for better viewing when someone's three-dimensional and they're a mess. I mean, kind of, that's for fun to watch because we can see something in ourselves in her, but it's happening to her, and she's on screen. We can kind of sit back and go, yeah, I did that too, or that happened to me also, or I'm sure.
I love when people say anything about it being relatable, especially because there's so much with social media in the show, because I think now,
yes, you do have that in the show, yes.
Now in season 3, we're adding like Instagram, and I think we had Instagram in season 2, but we're adding Snapchat and like other sort of commentary on things that didn't exist when we first did the show. So now we've covered all of our social, because that's so much of just life now is your phone, and
yes it is.
And for like a huge chunk of the show, I had a BlackBerry, which I upgraded in real life, and so I had to keep bringing this old BlackBerry everywhere on set with us because I was like, this is her phone. I upgraded and everyone was so confused.
I loved my BlackBerry back in the day, my Crackberry. I loved it.
Me too.
And then
But then I got an iPhone and I was like, wow, this is a whole new world.
Oh yeah, exactly. That's better. I did like my Crackberry. Now, as someone in the chat room wants to know, we have people watching. So explain to me what the premise of the show is.
Oh, okay, sure. Broken at Love is about an idealistic college girl named Vivian Taylor, who I play, and she gets the rare chance to meet her celebrity crush.
Wow.
And in the context of the show, he's a professional tennis player named Holden Gregory. So what starts as a crush turns into a lot more, with family, friends, and competing love interests, further complicating things along the way.
Yes.
So yeah, it's the main premise is what happens when you meet your celebrity crush.
Which, that's a great premise. Because you always wonder what would happen.
I think that the biggest thing that the show is trying to say is that it doesn't live up. I mean, I think part of her battle in the show is her idea of him versus him.
Right.
And I think that, especially for season 1, was a fun thing to play with, because part of it is like your idea of what you want him to be versus what he actually is. It's
funny because I do these shows, I'm an interviewer, and I meet celebrities, and I get to meet people that I like. And I am finding in some cases it's really great, like, wow, they're everything I thought they might be or more, and in some cases they're not. But it's very human, right? We're talking about these celebrity crushes, these celebrities are human. So you're finding that out. As Vivian, you're finding that out, right?
I still think it's cool to, because I've met people through this too. And and even for what we have for season 3 casting coming up, it's like people I've known for like years ago, and I'm like, now I'm just paranoid. I'm like, I hope they live up to like my idea of what I think they're gonna be. Right. Yeah, but I think there's still a part of me that's super idealistic when I meet people, just thinking they'll be like everything that you want them to be. And so I think you have to be. Yeah. Otherwise that's terrible.
It's horrible. I want to be jaded. I want to be happy. So
I'm not jaded, and I'm still not jaded.
Good. Don't be jaded. I'm not jaded either. I still love our business and want to meet people. So now you are, everybody know you do a lot because you're the creator, obviously, but you're also the writer and you're the star.
Yeah. And I direct most of the episodes.
And you edit them too, obviously,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
How do you do it?
I have no idea. I will say that writing for me is my, aside from acting, because that doesn't count, writing for me is my favorite job.
Okay.
It's one where you're by yourself.
Yeah.
And you, like, I just, sometimes, I mean, I'm writing some new season 3 scripts now, and I'll find myself just random, you should see my phone, it's got notes and notes of just random thoughts. And I just find that to be the purest state of creating the show, and I get to just write it all out, and it's a returning cast now, so I know them, and so I get to, writing for them is kind of just like an extra bonus, whereas when we first started, I didn't have a cast. I was just making it up in my head, but now I'm writing for the people, and I find the writing to be the best part. I find that the producing I like too. It kind of depends. It's hard. I produce things. Like, it's hard work. Yeah, I feel like I feel like I've went through every permit office. I'm like tired. I'm sure they're tired of seeing me from the first seasons.
Oh, I'm sure. Oh my god. Yeah, to shoot anywhere, you have to get a permit.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my god.
I love Beverly Hills. They were the nicest that I've worked with. Yeah.
And you would think they'd be.
You would think, but no, they were like super accommodating, and I love shooting there. We have a lot. If you notice, most of the show is there because they're parks and stuff. They were really nice.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. Plus, it just half your producer job is done when the set looks good on its own.
Yes.
On its own, yeah. And I find directing to be a little difficult when you're in it.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to ask you that. How do you direct yourself?
It is hard. It's not hard to do. I love directing other people. I love collaborating with them, but having to step back and forth, I think, is probably the most challenging of it. But we've had the privilege of having guest directors for our finales.
Oh, okay.
And our season 1 finale was this big party shoot, and we had a great guy from USC come and do it. And for our season 2 finale, we had a guy who came all the way from Italy. He had a very successful web series in Italy.
Oh, wow.
And he saw us on YouTube and kind of followed the show from the beginning, and he was making a trip to LA, and he goes, I'd love to help on set. And instead, I was like, you want to direct? Since he's won that LA Web Fest, every Web Fest, he's won a directing award. And when he came, it was such a great experience to work with not only a director, but an experienced director from a whole different, side of the world. And so I love getting guest directors when the opportunity presents itself, and then you could just act.
Yeah.
And it's a lot. It's a lot.
Because I'm saying, because you have to, because you're wearing 2 hats, and you're wearing them at the same time. So you're having to memorize you wrote it, first of all. Actually, since you wrote the series, it's like, of course, I've always wanted to ask somebody who write director. Because you wrote it, is it easier for you to remember it because you wrote it?
In season 1, I will say that I never memorized a script. I kind of winged it if I wasn't sure.
I guess if you wanted to say something different, you couldn't write it.
I have found that I have improvised more on, like, anytime you see like a really heavy monologue or something, I find that I probably didn't have the time to sit down and memorize it, and I kind of just did. But from then on, I do sit and memorize and work on them, and I find it to be easy, but at the same time, you kind of have to make sure, like, there's too many points I want to make sure I hit, so you're still kind of being writer.
Okay.
So you have to kind of separate those things when you.
I didn't think about that either. Because also at the same time, let me rephrase that. You are directing, writing, and acting at the same time in some of the scenes. So I mean that would be interesting because you're thinking, I wrote this scene for a specific reason. I got to get there. As an actress, I gotta remember the lines to get there. As director, got put together.
But I think that if it works really well. So the times that's on, I think, is some of our best work in the show. And the times that it's not, you just have to, as a writer, readjust some things, write some different scenes, and you kind of work with it. So
have you ever written scenes at the last minute, like change scenes at the last minute while you're filming?
Nothing completely major, but I will change dialogue if something. I've had the privilege of having actors who had great improv background.
Oh, good.
And so, although most of the stuff really sticks to script, I love when they throw in some witty lines. Like we have a couple episodes. Anything with a bunch of young kids together is like a party or something. They throw in lines, or I give them like this is your premise for the show, like, I need you to say something like this or whatever, and then they'll come up with some fun stuff, and I love that too. So we've never like done a completely different scene or something but we have kind of played around with improv, especially if they have improv backgrounds. I like that. It's fun.
Because you like your collaboration, and it may sound better.
Yeah, especially if you're having a guy say something and it's like a guy perspective. The line might be
sense.
would be better.
Makes sense. So I mean, So what is your writing process? Like, what do you just sit? You wake up at 9, get a coffee, start at 10, like.
Well, lately like I feel like I can't even go to sleep at a decent hour because I will come up with like the past several nights I have come up with scenes where they seem delirious to me in my mind because it's like late. Yeah. And so I'll make notes, and in the morning I'll reassess if that made any sense. Okay. And usually, luckily, I think it has. Yeah. And then I'll go and kind of spend my morning writing out a draft, do my day, and then kind of at night go back and see what I did. Wow. And so it's all over the place. It really depends what I'm inspired by. Like I'm writing episodes now. We actually are going to bring season 3 to New York.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's like the big thing I've been really trying to make happen.
Okay.
Yeah.
New York's a great city. Oh
yeah,
my God.
And could you believe that 4 of my cast members have moved? My main cast members, my mom, 2 of my best friends, another, Wow. And so when that happened, I was like, man, I want to film there. So now I've been motivated by, because we're going to do that in the next few months, and I've been motivated by New York as now the inspiration.
God, yes.
And so I've had a lot of sleepless nights thinking of scripts. But yeah.
What a great city. My Magic, I was just there 2 weeks ago, even though it was 11 degrees when I was there.
Oh my gosh, you missed the storm though.
Yeah, I did. I got out just in time. I was like, oh,
you would have been stuck there.
Oh my God. I would have stuck with my grandmother, love you grandma, but I didn't want to be there that long. It was time to go back to the warmth of today, as we saw in LA. Okay, so you sit down, you write. So now with directing, what kind of director do you think that you are when you're on sets?
I would hope that I'm an actor's director. Okay. I really I'm a big old movie buff, and I'm also a big Elia Kazan buff. Oh, and so I love. I used to really, when I was in high school, watch a lot of not only films, old movies, and in college I watched a lot of old movies through the cinema school. I took cinema classes, but I also watched a lot of directors' commentary back. All those kind of DVD features, and I love that he was kind of the director who would tell an actor a lie in order to get them to. I mean, I'm not that person.
No, you're not that person.
But I love the idea of just being an actor's director and getting them to get what they need, and that's the number one focus. You're not burdening them with technical stuff.
No, you want the best. You want them to give you the best performance because it makes your show better. Obviously. Yeah. So I guess you're saying I'm an actress. I know how it is. I'm going to try to get you there.
Yeah. And when I was at USC, they did have this class called Directing for Actors. Oh. Okay. And it was teaching us actors how to. I mean, it was theater plays and scenes, but it was teaching us actors how to learn how to do the directing aspect so we are aware when they want us to do stuff. So there were a couple classes like that. And those were kind of my favorite ones, and I found that those were the most beneficial in helping me with this.
Let's talk about schooling.
Yes.
How important is schooling?
I think it's the most important. Yeah. And I try to really cast people who have had that background, especially if they're in my age range. I appreciate any sort of drama training, any sort of film training, anything. I mean, my whole crew is cinema trained.
Very good.
And I think that there's a whole different... You bring a whole different thing to set. One of the actresses, she plays my best friend. She graduated from UCLA theater school, so it was fun. And another one graduated from mine. Yes. Yeah, it was so fun because we met, and she had to come to USC for one of the film shoots. But we met, and so it was great to talk about. We have that in common, and that was like a great base for the show. So I love people who come from drama background.
And what is one thing that you took away from your schooling that you use today, kind of in your life?
Well, I would say a lot of my schooling I felt like happened before there was like people making web stuff. So we didn't really get the idea that we could create things on our own. Although I did do that myself while I was there. Yeah. But I would think that it just really kind of everything clicked once I started this project and I graduated. I think when you're in school, you get all this information thrown at you from like a million different people, and then you have to step back. And I think I had like a moment when I graduated and then I started doing this, that the show made everything they said click. Suddenly it was like, this all makes sense. So I feel like it was one of those things where
you make up a good point, because we're talking 5, 6, 7 years ago when you were in schooling and stuff.
Don't age me.
I'm saying, but it's kind of funny. I know stuff, but it's kind of funny that when you said I was 11, I'm like, that's like 5
there was
years
no
ago.
HD.
No, there wasn't. That's what's
you couldn't get the camera and just meet up with people and make a project.
Right.
Which is sad. That part makes me sad.
Yeah, but you made a good point that when you were in schooling, it wasn't about making
it was
movies.
had to be in other people's projects.
Exactly.
Yeah, correct.
So you completely got on the bandwagon and did it and said, okay. Did you see before you started? Did you see other web series that were starting back then? Did you see some for reference? No
idea. No, I remember I think it was 2009 or 2010.
Okay.
I think somebody might have, you know how when you used to have Facebook friends you didn't actually know? I think like an actor you acted with when someone had a web show or something like that, and I was like, oh, that's a great idea. So it was kind of something that always stuck in my head.
Okay.
But I never watched any web shows until I think after we did season 1.
Okay.
I didn't want to be, even now I try to not watch them because I don't want to be influenced by anyone else's style and stuff. So
well, I'm just curious in terms of just like when you were getting started, because you went from the leap of there was no kind of training or thought of self-publishing, self-broadcast. None of that stuff was big back then, and now it's everywhere.
Well, I did have the one advantage that when I was at USC, they did start film festivals that were to motivate students outside of the cinema school to make films on your own. So it wasn't for a class assignment. So when I started doing those, I did know a little bit about making your own project, but it definitely was not the work of a web show. It was more just like a little weekend.
Because this is a TV series. I mean, you are working something like you said. You're producing, you're directing, you're editing, you're casting. So how's the casting before? Because you found some great people. So how's that been?
I love that part, especially when it works. Especially when you like. Sometimes I usually make like the decision, but then I have a small team.
I was gonna ask you, do you have a team?
That I try to narrow my choices in what's right or not. So my mom is obviously one of them. She's made some poor casting decisions as of late. Not kidding. But aside from
trial and error.
Trial and error. I tell her sometimes if I'm like, I'm not sure, like if this is wrong, it's on you. But she's made some great ones. She influenced the actor that plays my dad. His name is Ben Reed. He was an American Sniper. Oh my God. And he's just like the nicest person.
Oh my God.
Nicest person. He's one of those people who I think would live up to what you would want to be when you meet him. Yeah. She also was one of the people who helped me. Anything that involves her family, anything with family characters. A lot of some people like I picked off photos just like we were short on time. The actress who plays my best friend, her name is Carly Reeves.
Okay.
I picked it off the headshot because we had to get a recast within the weekend. This was when we first started, and I just needed somebody. And I liked that she went to school at UCLA and that she had a good picture. So, and then that worked out really well. And so we have a Tony nominee with Marsha Rod who submitted, and we've had some really good ones. Wow. Like enough that makes me excited to want to write, excited to go to set. And I obviously said when we were going to do season 3, like I have to be excited about everyone that's involved in order to be motivated to write it. And now I have New York pool of actors.
I know you do.
Which is exciting.
They're theater trained, a lot of them are.
We have, I can't say it yet, but we have a Tony nominee.
No exclusive here on...
I'll give you the exclusive when the time comes.
Okay, because we're connected on Twitter and everything. So
I will give you the exclusive when the time comes. Yeah, I'm so excited about it. But again, until I'm in New York, I'll send you a picture.
Okay, send me a picture.
Then I'll be like, this is for you.
Okay, for me. Okay,
yeah.
so I can know.
And so not too long ago, Tony nominee, but it's like to work with people who are way more experienced than I can be at this age is just so exciting. And
because you're learning, you can be a sponge.
Yes, it's like an acting class in a lot of ways, and I feel like I've learned more just from being around. And you get to pick your scene partners.
Yes, you do. You do whatever you want. I mean, okay, so in the casting process for love interest or males on your show,
I have a lot of cute ones, right?
You do. It's like so funny.
They're so cute. How does that go? Well, a couple things. For the Holden Gregory character, we did. That was back in 2011. We did an in-person audition. I brought all of my closest crew members. Funny. We all sat, and he was the clear winner. Okay. So that was a pretty easy one. And then, aside from that, sometimes it's just I'll do a taped audition and see if they're motivated enough to do the tape. Like if they will do it. Okay. Because I don't have time really to hold auditions anymore. So I'm like, if you will do the taped audition, that's a good sign. Then I'll send the link to everyone and see what they think. I would say that. Yeah, so I'm casting love interest now for season 3. So
okay,
that's a New York talent pool right there.
Right there, and them East Coast guys. I mean, there's some good ones back there. So y'all have a good
time.
I
hope so.
You'll have a good time, of course. So while you're there, are you going to get a place to stay while you're there? You're thinking, or
well, I'm gonna stay with the actress that plays my mom.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm actually hoping to move there. So if all goes well, I'm gonna kind of I've been in LA forever.
Yeah, it's good to get out.
Yeah.
And New York's a great city. It's a great city with my family's in New York. They're in Brooklyn, so I love New York.
I'm so jealous.
Yes, I love that. I was just there with Granny, and I love it. It's just I call it my magic city. I love LA, and I'm here. I'm from LA. I love LA, but New York is just my magic city, and it's just the energy, the buzz.
Yeah.
They're tied together. The buzz there is great, and I think it will be really creative for you.
Yeah, because I always felt like when we were going to I thought I was done with season 2, as I told you. So when we were going to do season 3, I said, well, if we do it, there's got to be something extra special about it to excite the audience. I don't want it to be just more of the same.
Yeah.
And I think my mom and I when we were done with season 2, my mom and I took a mother-daughter trip to New York. We thought we were done. We went, and I went there, and honestly, I kept saying, I want to see Vivian here. I want to do this, and so I just got so motivated, and then without anyone knowing anyone else's story, 3 people moving there. I was just like, could that be a sign? Because I don't know.
When the universe talks, you gotta listen. When the universe is talking to you, you gotta listen. It's happening. You have to go to New York.
That's what I'm saying. I'm booking my tickets pretty soon, so I'm waiting for the snow to pass. I'd like to film outside.
I know. Springtime's good there.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Yeah, it's really good. They get Central Park, all these places. I mean,
and you wouldn't believe, as a producer, they have been very nice for everyone that I've reached out with.
Okay.
I think I've maxed out every LA location that I possibly could use.
They're like, we're done for that. Come back to in a few years.
Yeah, they're like, are you sure you need that again?
Yeah, that's funny. So that's great that New York is working with you. The city of New York is working with you.
Yeah, so far so good.
Oh my God, that's great. This is so great. I'm so happy for it. I'm so excited. So between seasons 1 and 2, actually, I'm going to rephrase that. Seasons 1 and 2 have happened. When you look back on those 2 seasons, what do you think when you look back on those? Now they're done and they're put to bed and they've been seen.
I don't know. I think I'm a bit more of a perfectionist writing season 3 now.
Okay.
Like, I expect a lot more out of myself and everything else, since I'm like, I know so much more now. So I expect to show that. I don't know. I think season 1, I still look at it and see like the heartbroken girl who's just trying to get through it. And I think season 2, we had a lot longer episodes, and I'm really proud of. I think those were as close to perfect as we had done, and I think season 3 is going to be way better.
How do you choose the length? I know I've heard things like
the length. Oh yeah.
Yeah, no longer than 6 minutes, 9 minutes, 15. Like, how did you pick your length?
Oh my gosh. Well, season 2, after season 1, people requested that the episodes be longer, and they were already 12 minutes, and there was an overwhelming these are not long enough. These are not long enough. Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
And so I decided when I did season 2 that I was just going to make them longer, and so I wrote more, which it was a little harder to film that way, but so each episode, our finale was 19 minutes long, and it was probably one of our most viewed episodes.
It debunks the myth of fast,
Well, I keep thinking it needs to be short, but I think if it's a dramatic, even a little bit, you can't build the tension in 5 minutes. You're not. I tried. I was thinking season 3 should be way shorter and we should have more episodes, and then I just started editing, and I was like, you can't reach the emotional. So right now, the way that I'm approaching it is each script has been about 12 pages, and I'm trying to find a happy medium between season 1 and season 2, because I don't want to make 16-minute episodes. You kind of have to think to yourself, what's the story you're trying to tell? In season 1, I think the story was serving itself being shorter, but in season 2, there was a lot of extra dialogue discussing situations, and I think that it was better longer. So season 3, I think, is kind of in the middle.
Okay, I get it. Because I always wonder, because they always say short attention spans and make it shorter. I'm like, but you're saying,
I think if they like it, they'll watch it. So I think I mean, I'll sit through things. That's how I've been basing it, actually, because during our off time, I'll just watch random YouTube videos and I'll see what holds my attention. Well, makeup tutorials hold my attention.
Well, of course. Well, there you go. Right, of course.
But we can't make that. That's not our show.
No, it's not your
that is not my expertise.
Right. That's right. But no, but that's a smart way of thinking of it. Just like, what will hold my attention? How long? What you pick the subject matter you like, and see if it really does keep you for 15, 20, 25 minutes.
And I think if you like the show, you'll watch it no matter what. Because I watch Hulu stuff, and that's like 30 minutes, and I'll still binge it. So
that's true. I think that's true. So everybody's all about fast attention, short attention spans. It's like it depends on what it is.
If it's a comedy, maybe.
Yes. Okay. Comedy's a little different. I think
that might drag. Yeah.
I agree with you. I think they're a little different. So I mean, okay, when you first were nominated, because I know about the LA Web Fest. I know people have been nominated and stuff. So when you were nominated, what did you think?
They didn't reveal nominations.
Okay, didn't.
They just revealed people accepted into the festivals.
Wow.
So I had no idea.
Okay.
So I didn't even know if we were in the considerations for anything.
Oh.
I didn't know. So they just read a name. And
you just show up and
you show up to support your show because you're in contention. But
Right.
in that year, which was 2014, they didn't have nominations yet.
Wow.
Yeah, so I had no idea. And so
Okay, so then which was the first one you won? Because you had two.
I
Which
won writing first. Writing first, yes.
Okay, so when they say Karolina Sivas, I mean, what did you do? Like, oh my God.
I was like I feel like I was gonna have an anxiety attack waiting to hear, because I brought my it was pretty much all the producers came with me to that festival, and they were just so like, we hope you win, we want you to win, we want you to win so bad. And then on top of that, after that, the one that plays my mom, Pamela Bowman, won supporting actress, and I was like, we're getting more. And it was so exciting. And then my acting one came after that, and it was just, it was so nice, because if an actress wins, or even an actress gets nominated, or an actor, I feel like I won, because I am helping shape their character, and it's like it's my baby. I wrote the character, and they did a good job. Well, I mean, I know they did, but they did. They're getting recognized for doing a really good job playing the role, and so when other people get nominated, I get so happy.
No, I always think nominations are great. I've been nominated for a few things, and it's always been fun to be. Cause really, once you get nominated, it really is like you're at the table.
Yeah.
You're at the table. You like they said, out of all these people.
That was a huge room too.
Yes,
It was for the soap opera category for that. It was I think it was only season 1 too.
Wow.
I'm not sure. Maybe both seasons. I'm not sure.
Great.
I don't know.
But for the writing, that must have been really a real kick for you, because
that was the best thing ever. I still think, like, no matter what, no one can take the fact that I was acknowledged for writing.
I know, that's great.
And I honestly think that when I've heard a lot of people when we do the show that say they want to do the show because they like the writing. And writing compliments are the best compliments anyone can give me. I will take those.
If you ever need like a therapist or something, I will come to New York and, for a couple of lines.
Are you casting yourself? Because if you come to New York, you're more than welcome to join the show.
I would love to come. I would come to New York, see Granny, and do something with you. I'd love to.
If you help be a little bit touristy. I've never been to Brooklyn.
Oh, yeah. I could. I know where to take you. You have to have Junior's Cheesecake.
Where is that?
Junior's Cheesecake is like the main thing in Brooklyn. You have to have Junior's Cheesecake.
Okay, so you're going to give me a tour of Brooklyn, and you come and do our show.
Okay.
Springtime.
Springtime. It's the best time.
You got it.
Okay, we got each other's messages. Okay, we're going to see you heard that first.
That sounds fun. Yeah, okay.
I'll do a few lines on your show and show you Brooklyn.
That sounds good.
And Brooklyn is really happening to you right now. You're going to want to live there.
Really?
That's my opinion. You want to live there.
Oh, well, convince me when I get there.
Okay, that sounds good.
I'm going to take a tour of everywhere and see. My mom was obsessed with everything in Soho and like all those. Nice. So we went to that Italy place.
Like, it's
more than one time, and we were only there under a week. So
I like Soho too. Actually, Soho has some great shops, and my Uniqlo is down there. My clothing store. Soho. I love Soho, so it's great. I mean, you're an amazing woman, because I just think it's so that you're doing wearing all these hats, and you produced this great show that's going to its 3rd season. Thank you. I mean, how many people can say that?
I don't. Maybe I'm just crazy.
Maybe you're crazy. You're a crazy, phenomenal woman. It's great. It's great. So now, is there anything else besides the show? 'Cause I know you're heavily into the show right now. Are there any other things you have you're thinking about wanting to do on the horizon?
I just want to keep writing new stuff. I think I did actually take a little break from the show and think that I was going to just write other things, collaborate with other things. And again, when I went to New York, that was the intention. I met with people to do that, but I just saw her there and I wanted, and I guess I realized the show wasn't done and I wasn't done telling it. So I actually wrote the script, and I realized that I started writing things that kind of were still broken related, and I was like, okay, clearly I'm not done.
You're not done.
I'm not done.
Yes,
so I think once I feel like this, I mean, I'm always writing something here and there, but once I think this is out of me, then I think it might never be. Yes. I don't know, but I mean, if I keep meeting guys and
it can go on for years, for a few years at least.
I met a guy recently who's now gonna be unknowingly featured in 2 episodes.
That's a good thing. Okay, so for people who do write kind of real life things into their series about that, so has it changed the way you date, or has it look at dating at all?
I will say it's kind of in the season. There's actually just finished an episode. There's 2 kind of guys. There's the guys that meet me and then watch the show, and the guys who watch the show and then meet me.
Oh.
So I would say that watching the show seems to hurt the situation.
Yes, I think so, yes.
Because I actually wrote an episode, and a while back I went on a blind date, and the guy hadn't seen the show, but he had heard of it, and then when he was from Italy, so he was going back to Italy for work, and so at that time he goes, "Oh, I'll watch your show."
You're like, "Don't do that. Don't do that."
And so once they watch the show, it's kind of weird. But if they're exciting of people enough, then I'll write about them.
That's
not everyone gets written about.
Right,
It just kind of depends if you bother me in some way. I don't know.
Well, sure, you won't write about everybody, obviously.
No,
it's just
like, professionals are not obviously going to get written about.
Right, not at all. It's just that it's mostly, it sounds like just experiences you're writing about.
Yeah, exactly. Experience, like anything that kind of just lingers with me, or I feel like is universally like people can connect to. And so I mean, there's a lot of themes. I noticed when writing season 3, which I told you I've been extra strict on myself about, but when writing it, I noticed that there are a lot of repetitive themes that are coming up between different relationships that Vivian's going to have and different experiences. And I'm like, wow, I now looking back see a theme. And one of the themes I saw was how a guy acts if they've seen the show or if they haven't.
Yeah, that's
and it's very fascinating. So again, writing season 3 has been much more exciting for me than season 1 and 2, because those kind of, especially season 1, they wrote themselves because they were heavily based on that relationship. But with season 3 now, it's based on just kind of all these experiences and trying to be as creative as possible with telling a bigger story, something that people can really relate to, not just the celebrity crush, storyline. Kind of how she's getting over heartbreak is really the third season.
Right, you could be actually more expressive, broader.
Yes, exactly.
In the season 3 than you were before.
Yeah, exactly. Because I'm not really tied down to try to tell a specific story. I'm kind of just saying whatever it is that I feel like I need to articulate or kind of, say.
You're going, girl.
Yeah.
Hi to Pedro, Taylor. Oh, Joseph Ortiz is a regular here. He's in there in the chat room. People are watching.
Hi.
Say hi to you guys.
Thank you.
He's like, oh, so are you going to write about the awesome interviewer? Me.
Well, no, because he's going to be in it.
Exactly, Joseph. So we got it. We got to work it out.
He hasn't done anything bad.
No, not anything. He's like, I'm nothing bad to be good about me.
No, he's going to be in it.
Yeah, see? So he's asked, thank you, Joseph, for watching. So, this has been great. This has been it was so great to meet you in person.
Thank you.
And I'm so excited for your series and your journey as you continue this.
Thank you.
It's such a great thing. What advice would you give anyone out there who wants to write and produce and direct a web series that you've learned so far from your years?
I would say that in order to make it work, the story has got to be everything to you.
Okay.
You will not want to put up with all of the challenges and headaches if you don't believe in the story and you don't feel like the story is something that has to be made. Like, I think when we started and I did season 1, I said, this story has to be made. And so we had so many obstacles in the very beginning, and no matter what, I was like, no, I'm making this. And so I think your determination will come from what you're trying to tell.
That's actually very interesting. The story has to come first.
Yeah.
You have to really believe it.
You can't be like, oh, I just want to act, so I'm just going to, because then it's not going to have, I think the strength with our show and with our fans is that they like it because of the realness. And that's why I say it now. That's why I say, like, oh, yeah, I was just broken to pieces.
And I guess for you as an actress, you have to love Vivian, right?
Yeah. Well, I think it's funny because Vivian is a version of me. She's not me.
Right. But I'm saying you have to love, you're playing her, you have to love her, right?
I think exactly. And I think that that's another thing with the guys. They think I'm Vivian. So they get
you're
screwed
like,
up.
I'm playing a character. I was
like, I'm not Vivian anymore.
No.
It's a Vivian from like 5 years ago.
Right.
Well, I'm going to become Vivian this season. I'm making her a little tougher.
Okay, good.
So she's a little less idealistic as she was in the beginning.
Well, give her it's an evolution, right?
Yeah, exactly. Which is fun, which I think is also a good personal, evaluation of yourself. It's like, how have I've grown so much since we started the show. I think I recently just thought this. I was like, I'm really happy with who I'm becoming, and I feel like the show is serving a purpose and helping me grow.
I think so.
In that way too.
I think so. It's so smart.
Oh, thank you.
Well, so tell folks where they can actually find you and the show.
Okay, well, I am at Broken at Love on Twitter. That's my personal and show.
Yes.
YouTube.com/Broken at Love has all the episodes. BrokenAtLoveTheSeries.com is our website. It's going to relaunch closer to close to the season. I'm revamping it.
Very good.
And we have Facebook.com/BrokenAtLove, Instagram.com/BrokenAtLove the series, because someone already took my Broken at Love.
Did they really?
And they had no pictures.
I'm tired.
I
Give
like
back to her.
everything matching.
I know. Give back to her.
Right? So, yeah, Instagram is Broken at Love the series, and I put behind-the-scenes set photos from there.
Ooh, you should do that. And you also have, I saw some minisodes.
I do.
I saw some of them.
With the family. We filmed so many things with the family.
I know. I thought that's a great idea.
Yeah, I kind of want. I hopefully we'll have time to do that again, because that was fun. It's so easy. 2 minutes, 3 minutes.
Yeah, they were good. I saw some of them. They were good.
Oh, thank you.
They're good. Thanks for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. And that was Spotlight On here on AfterBuzz TV. You can follow us on YouTube, iTunes. Go ahead, subscribe. Find us. Find this interview. You can follow me at James Lott Jr. on all social media except for Twitter. I am Black Hope LA. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.